I'm Brittany Lewis, a breaking news reporter here at Forbes. Joining me now is 2024 presidential contender and former Congressman Will Hurd. Congressman Hurd, thank you so much for joining me.
It's a pleasure to be on with you. Looking forward to our chat.
Last week, you entered a very crowded presidential race. You threw your hat in the ring with former governors and current governors, senators, and even a former president and vice president. My first question to you, why do you want to lead our country?
I want to lead our country because I'm sick and tired of our elections lying to us. We are dealing with a number of generational defining challenges. The Chinese government is trying to surpass us as a global superpower. You have persistent inflation, and technologies like artificial intelligence is going to upend every single industry. Our kids are not getting the kind of education they need in order to be prepared for jobs that don't exist today. Those are the issues we should be talking about, and we don't have people that have the experience or the interest in dealing with those. And so that's why I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I know I'm a dark horse candidate. I'm very clear about that, but I know a little something about winning tough campaigns. Nobody thought a black Republican could win in a 72% Latino district in Congress, and I did that and shocked folks. So we're going to take this to the streets, and that's why I'm here in New Hampshire, and get a different message for the American people to make a decision on what they want for the future.
Congressman, all of those issues you laid out, we are going to hit on in just a little bit, but I do want to talk about this race. As you said, you are a dark horse, and someone you've been very critical of, former President Trump, is far and away the front runner. As of this morning, according to a Morning Consult tracker, he has 57% of the support. So what's your pitch to those Trump supporters?
Well, first and foremost, running for president is not one election. It's not a national election. It's 50 state elections. And so these national polls are not as important on winning a race as state polls. And when you look at individual state polls, especially in a place like New Hampshire, that distance narrows. And there's still plenty of people that are not going to vote for Donald Trump and aren't going to vote for anybody that's like Donald Trump. They're not going to vote for a clone of Donald Trump. Those are the people that we're talking to. And then there's a big group of people in the middle that want conservative leadership in the country, and they want someone that doesn't have a bunch of baggage that can help try to solve our problems. And so those are the people I'm talking to. Campaigns are not complicated. They're just hard. You ID your voters and you turn them out. That's what I learned running in a 50-50 district, 50% Republican, 50% Democrat, and that's a lesson we're going to take here. And I would have that by now we should have learned back in 2016 that these national polls are a snapshot in time. They also do not predict who's going to be turning out to vote, and there's a lot of time between now and the first election, which is going to be sometime in January. But the lead is formidable. And I'm not gonna lie about that. But guess what? 7 out of 10 Americans don't want Joe Biden on the ballot, and 6 out of 10 Americans do not want Donald Trump. And those are the people that we have to activate and say there's other options available.
You said you wouldn't support Donald Trump if he was the nominee. You did mention that there are also clones of Donald Trump. A, do you see any of those in this competition now? And B, is there any contender you would flat out say, no, I will not support them if they are the Republican nominee?
Trump for sure, right? I've been clear about that. That's why I won't sign the pledge to be on the debate stage. I recognize, it would be easy to lie and sign a debate pledge and after the fact not do something. I just can't lie to the American public in order to get access to a microphone. And so for me right now, I'm worried about myself. And the fact that there's at least one person I'm not going to support is one of the reasons why I can't sign the pledge. But here's everybody talks about lanes. What lane do people have? And with what's the count now? 12, 13 people in this race. If you're trying to be a clone of Donald Trump when the real thing is in, you're going to have a difficult time. And so articulate a vision. Don't be afraid of Donald Trump. And I think that is successful, and that's the lane. And then here's the other reality. We Republicans have an opportunity in November. Biden has some terrible numbers, but we have to elect someone who is going to be able to appeal to independents, who's going to be able to appeal to those disaffected. And that's the opportunity. And look, in a place like New Hampshire, they have a very narrow margin in their state house. And if you elect a wrong candidate, then you'll lose state houses across the country as well too. And so these are the kinds that voters are starting to understand. And let's be honest, a lot of people don't start paying attention to elections until much longer from now. Those of us that doom scroll on social media and consume cable news, we're paying attention to this now. But there's a whole lot of the country that's worrying about what they're going to do for the 4th of July, and how they're going to enjoy their summer, not necessarily who's the best, who they're going to vote for starting in January.